Welcome back to Laredo, Texas, where it is 107 degrees. Yesterday, I talked to a top Texas official who is a vocal advocate for tighter border controls. I asked him about the human cost of separating families who cross the border illegally. Thank you so much for joining us at the border. We appreciate it. Attorney General Ken Paxton.
Glad to be here. Glad you're here.
There's been a lot in the news recently about the Trump administration separating children from their parents, those children and parents who are coming over illegally. They're considering, the Department of Health and Human Services is considering using military bases to house some of these children. Are you aware of that at all?
So it's a federal, the federal government controls immigration and immigration law. My understanding is that law requires that they be separated because they can't detain children the same way they can adults. So if something needs to change there, that's obviously something Congress needs to address. The administration, their job is just to follow the law, just like it is for me.
But isn't there some human cost to this?
Sure, there's always a human cost. If you have policy that's not working, it affects not just illegal immigrants, it affects my state, it affects the nation. And so that's why we have elected representatives. Their job is to look at the human cost and figure out what's best for this nation.
So if someone crosses the border right here, it's a family, and the mother and father are taken one way and the child is taken the other because of current law, because of detention law. Do you think there should be another way? Should families be separated?
I think that's definitely something Congress should look at. Is that a policy that's working? I mean, it seems like not a good policy to separate families. I'm not sure why that got put into place in the first place. But yeah, there's a lot about immigration policy that I think needs to be looked at and understood to make sure that we're doing the things that affect us the way we want them to.
Just came out the increase in numbers of illegal immigrants coming across the border. Why is that happening?
So I think initially, the Trump administration came out, they made very strong statements. I think it created some anxiety about coming across. The problem we have now is the resources haven't been applied by Congress. President Trump has been asking for them. He wants the wall. He wants more border agents. He wants more technology. Until we get that, we're going to continue to struggle with the illegal immigration problem that we have.
So basically what you're saying is the criminals have figured out that President Trump hasn't put up a wall right away and made draconian laws. Therefore, they're relaxing and coming in.
I think they realize that the resources have not been put behind this. Now, I think the administration is doing everything. They're begging Congress to put resources into this. I've heard them over and over talk about immigration. The Trump administration has focused on immigration and done more for immigration reform than any president that I've ever seen. So this type of effort needs to be followed up by Congress actually providing resources.
On DACA, tell me, this program that protects immigrants brought to the U.S., children brought to the U.S., no thought of knowing what was happening to them. Why are you leading the charge to send them back?
So fundamentally, this is about our Constitution and whether President Obama has the authority to just change law. If we allow a president to do that, whether we like the policy or not, once we start down that path and we move that job away from our elected representatives, we don't have the same country, we don't have the same Constitution that our founders put together, which was all about separating power, separation of powers, so that one person couldn't decide for all of us what things were going to be in this country. That's why we elect people, and we need to make sure that that continues, because it's pretty important to, I think, most Americans.
Attorney General Ken Paxton, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, and thanks for coming to the border.